All right. My name is Brett Fitzgerald, and I'm the director of the Snook and Game Fish Foundation. And we started a program called the Angler Action Program. That's the sticker that I passed out to you there. In 2010, we did that. Started here in Palm Beach County. It's become a nationwide fisheries data collection program. And it started, if you remember, if you lived here, we had that cold snap in 2010 that was historic, and it killed a lot of snook and other species. So at that point, FWC called us, the Snook Foundation, and said, can you help us get a handle on what people are catching, because we have no idea how bad that population was whacked. So we worked with them to develop a system where fishermen could go out in their boats and track basically a logbook. And there was a few people that participated in a logbook program for decades with FWC, just for snook. In this particular case, it was an opportunity for every fisherman to get involved and report how long they were fishing, how many snook they caught, how big they were, and contribute to the stock assessment. What happened with that was the data that was reported was so robust and so strong. Immediately, it was the best data that FWC ever had on released snook. The size of the fish, the size structure, and the geographic range of the fish in peninsular Florida. So right away they said, yeah, we want more information, and they asked us to expand to other species, and they asked us to build an app. So it's grown from there. Since then, it's developed into something that catches data on all species of fish. The website angleraction.org, actually iangler.org, will get you to the same spot. And there's a smartphone app that you can download. It's all free. It's password protected. You create a username and password so no one else can get your spots and your locations and that sort of thing. But you can share your information on Facebook if you want to do that sort of thing. It's not a social app. It's designed for scientific purposes, really. And that's what the states, it's the first time that the feds are using this data in stock assessments. We've built a red snapper app for the South Atlantic Council. If anyone here went red snapper fishing, last year they started collecting data on an app called MyFishCount. That's one of our apps, and that data was used immediately to open up a third weekend. They were only going to give us 2 weekends, and that data was used real time for them to say, okay, we can do another weekend. So this red snapper season and the Gulf red snapper season will all be recorded through Angler Action apps as well. So that's really it. It's free. It's a very powerful personal logbook. You can enter in all of your weather information, and you can sort through your own trips. I've got fishermen that have recorded now over 1,000 trips, and one of them literally goes to fishing clubs and with his own charts to show how his catch rates have increased now that he's tracked his own data over time. So the second thing I wanted to talk about, there's a tournament you can get involved in here. One of the side projects that developed from this was a virtual fishing tournament app. So the fishermen can go out and catch their fish, report it with their smartphone, take a picture, send the data in. The tournament director gets the information in real time. He can update the leaderboard, can show it on a smart TV, and people can see real time if they want to show that what's going on, what people are catching. And that information was kind of incidental. We built that so that we could try to recruit people, just get them used to reporting their fish and get them to report in the Angler Action Program. But the tournament app has turned out to have some very important data as well. And here at home, again in Palm Beach County, we started a new kind of data collection derby, where what Palm Beach County has done is partnered up with the West Palm Beach Fishing Club and Coastal Angler Magazine and some other folks to encourage anglers to go out for about 6 weeks in the summertime inside the Lake Worth Lagoon and report what you're catching and where you're catching it. And what they're doing, and the reason for that is Palm Beach County's done a really good job, kind of reintroducing some good habitats in the Lake Worth Lagoon. It used to be known as the dead zone. And actually this poster is really interesting because they broke it down into segments. And again, everybody's afraid that their locations are going to be given up. This just shows the lagoon broken up in segments. The north half of the lagoon and the south half of the lagoon. Now, Palm Beach County Environmental Resources Management, who built Snook Islands and Munyon Island and these other areas, they take this data and they can look and see exactly where these different fish are caught. This is the only information they have to go back to their funders and show that the habitats that they've created are actually doing anything. Now, from this information, we can see that fishermen are going out there, whether it's just, Captain Dandy going out there or somebody going out with his family, and the kids can get involved in this tournament, and they're reporting every single fish they catch, from the little ones, because they're important as well in this food chain, to the big game fish. And you can win prizes by just reporting this information, and most importantly, the Palm Beach County gets the information to help them understand what's being caught. Last year was the second year. There was 80 anglers. We're 4 days into the tournament this year. We have 96 anglers as of today. 58 species were reported. Over 1,500 fish were reported. And a lot of them, it ended up becoming a family event. A lot of lane snappers and a lot of tom tates and white grunts, those little fish. But we caught all kinds of stuff in there. Triple tails, somebody caught a sunshine bass at the spillway, black sea bass, all these species of fish that Palm Beach County didn't realize could use the Lake Worth Lagoon. So this is a very easy way for people to get involved, win some prizes, and contribute data that's going to help county raise more money to improve our habitats in Palm Beach County. So I'm going to pass this out to you. This is free as well, and it's got a website on it that you can go to that'll show you where you can sign up for this and download the app. Again, it's got something where you're going to create a username and a password so no one can see your stuff, and that's really a big help. So if you'll take the time to register for that, if you get out there, it goes until June 8th. Anytime you go fishing out there, you can report that fish, and you can do that. If you're fishing in any other tournament, it doesn't matter. You're not disqualified from this one. It runs independently. Any questions about either of those two items? Okay. I want to thank you all very much for
I
coming.
want to talk more about that red snapper. I want to talk more about that red snapper. Though. You talked
Okay,
about the gold
sure,
snapper.
yeah, lay it on me.
What are they saying on the East Coast? Are they going to have anything on the East Coast this year?
There is going to be 2 3-day weekends to start with. It's looking like it's going to be the 2nd and 3rd Friday, Saturday, Sunday in July. Right now it's open for public comment, so I think that closes towards the end of June, so it's going to be a bit of a rush to make it be those actual weekends. But if all goes according to plan, that's what it's going to be. Now you can report that, your fishing trips there. What happened last year was, at the last minute, they said you could have these fishing days, and we were working on building an app for South Atlantic Council. The South Atlantic Council actually wanted to open the season. They're recognizing that red snapper is a unique species in their biology, in the way that they reproduce. They grow very quickly. It's not like some fish that when they live to be 50 years old, they're not going to really be viable to reproduce until they're 15. Red snappers, by the time they're 5 or 6 years old, they can be as long as they're going to be, very close to it. So they're already reproducing at a very high rate at a very young age, and that's why the population is one of the reasons why the population has just exploded. And so when you have a situation where it's not fitting the model that the federal government expects it to see, so they're saying, no, there can't be that many out there. We have a snapper group or model, and it's just that they don't reproduce that fast. But everyone who gets out there sees it's different. There's where you have a problem, and people get ticked off, right? So we created this app. It's called My Fish Count. People go out, report their snapper catches. You can report them in angler action as well. But they report their red snapper catches in that, and they were able to report whether they were able to complete their trip. And what happened was a lot of people couldn't go because it was at the end of the year, it was in November. Seas are tough. That season goes from Key West up through North Carolina, and some of those other places you got to get offshore to get where the red snapper are. So a lot of people, they had to abandon their trip because they couldn't go. Over 85% of the trips were abandoned, so NOAA saw that right away and said, okay, we can give them another 3-day weekend. And that's the first time they've ever been able to collect data real time like that and apply it, and actually ended up producing more access for fishermen. So that's where we are on that. If it's not going to be those two, 2nd and 3rd weekend in July, if it's not those weekends, it'll be shortly thereafter.
Perfect.
But I can't overstress the importance of recording your trips on those, just so that they can get a handle on. It also allows you to report how deep you were, and that particular app, My Fish Count, whether you used a descending device or vented them. The last red snapper stock assessment, they had to go under the assumption that no one was venting or descending their fish. Our data showed that over 95% of the people that fished in 100 feet of water said they were using a descending device. So, already right there, we're moving to a point where the fishery managers are getting a better understanding of angler behavior, and that really works to our benefit as fishermen.
Cool. Appreciate it.
That,
What's going on with the Goliath grouper right now? Almost as bad as the
We've
Sharks.
had a discussion on this already.
Almost as bad as the Sharks.
Off the table.
Well, we actually did a, if you go to Next Generation Fishing on YouTube,